Once upon a time, in a lush green park filled with trees and flowers, there lived a beautiful gray cat named Luli. She loved spending her days basking in the warm sunshine, chasing butterflies, and playing with her favorite toy, a red yarn ball. One peaceful day, Luli was sitting in the park, happily playing with her yarn ball. The sun was shining, the birds were chirping. Everything was perfect. Suddenly, a big shadow loomed over her. With a swift kick of his paw, he sent her ball flying across the grass. Then he leaned closer to her, growling. I said, "Leave." As he pushed her slightly, Luli finally looked up at him, her eyes flashing with anger. But despite her tough facade, Luli was actually a very peaceful cat. She didn't want to fight or cause trouble. Instead, she much preferred napping in the sun and chasing butterflies. But Zanko's relentless taunts and aggressive behavior had pushed her over the edge. She knew she had to do something to put him in his place once and for all. Taking a deep breath, Luli stood up, shook off the grass that had clung to her fur during the scuffle, and stared directly into Zanko's eyes. Her gaze was unwavering and her tone was serious. "All right, Zanko, you've crossed the line," she said calmly. With that, she turned and gracefully ran off, disappearing behind a bush. Meanwhile, Zanko, oblivious to the danger that awaited him, lay down in the spot where Luli had been sitting just moments before and let out a satisfied sigh. He thought he had one, but little did he know that Luli had already hatched a plan to make him pay for his actions. Luli raced through the park, her paws pounding the pavement as she made her way to the Lucky Cat Cafe. She had to get help if she was going to take on Zanko and his pack. As she burst through the door, her heart pounded in her chest, her eyes scanning the room for her closest friends. She spotted Soso, a chubby cat with a big heart, Nino, the mysterious ninja cat, and Shabble, a sneaky kitten with a knack for getting into trouble. But she needed more muscle if she was going to stand a chance against Zanko and his army of dogs. That's when she saw him, Muscles, the strong bodybuilder cat, lifting weights in the corner. "Muscles, we need your help," Luli exclaimed, her voice filled with urgency. "Zanko has gone too far this time, and only you can help me stop him." Muscles, always ready for a challenge, dropped his weights with a thud and followed Luli outside. As they approached the main gate, Luli explained to Muscles how Zanko had tormented her and the other cats in the park. She told him about Zanko's arrogant attitude and how he had threatened to hurt her if she didn't leave. Muscles listened intently, his face growing darker with each word. When Luli finished her story, Muscles was furious. "That big lug thinks he owns the park," he growled, clenching his fists. "Well, no more. I'll show him who's really in charge around here." With that, the two cats headed towards the park, determined to put an end to Zanko's reign of terror once and for all. When they arrived at the park, they found Zanko lounging on the grass, seemingly relaxed and confident. But his smug expression would soon turn to fear when he heard the footsteps of his approaching enemies. Muscles and Luli walked towards Zanko, their heads held high and their eyes blazing with determination. Zanko, who had been dozing off, suddenly perked up, his ears twitching nervously. He tried to act nonchalant, but his heart was pounding in his chest. "Oh, hey there," he said with a forced smile. "What brings you to my humble abode?" Muscles responded with a menacing growl, sending shivers down Zanko's spine. "We're here to put an end to your bullying, Zanko," Luli stated firmly. "You've pushed us too far, and now you'll face the consequences." Zanko, taken aback by their audacity, felt a surge of anger. So, what if I've been a pain in the butt? He retorted. This is my park, and you're just a bunch of interlopers trying to ruin my fun. But before he could bark any further, Soso, Nino, and Shabble joined the fray, their eyes flashing with righteous anger. Leave, you dirty dog, Soso hissed, baring his claws. You're gonna regret messing with our turf, Zanko, Nino added, leaping onto a nearby tree. Shabble, always the troublemaker, couldn't resist the urge to land a few playful swats on Zanko's rear. Take that, you big bully, he shouted with glee. Zanko, overwhelmed by the sudden attack from all sides, found himself in a corner. He tried to fight back, but the cats were too quick and agile for him. Just when he thought things couldn't get any worse, Muscles stepped forward, his powerful paws and sharp claws ready to unleash hell. This is for all the times you've tormented these innocent creatures. Muscles roared as he lunged towards Zanko, knocking him to the ground with a thunderous crash. Shaken and terrified, Zanko scrambled to his feet and ran for his life. He dashed past startled squirrels and pigeons, his heart pounding in his chest. The cats gave chase, their laughter echoing through the park. Zanko, desperate to escape, darted behind a large oak tree and hid. Panting heavily, he watched as the cats approached his hiding spot. Come out, wherever you are, Luli called out, her voice echoing through the tree. It's over, Zanko. You can't hide forever. Zanko, defeated and ashamed, slowly emerged from behind the tree. He hung his head low, his tail between his legs. Okay, I give up, he whimpered. Please don't hurt me anymore. Luli, seeing that Zanko had learned his lesson, stopped her friends from attacking him. That's enough, everyone, she said firmly. We've taught him a valuable lesson today, and it's time to move on. The other cats nodded in agreement, their anger subsiding. Muscles, however, still had a menacing look on his face. That's right, Zanko, he growled. From now on, you're gonna treat these cats with respect or you'll face the consequences. Zanko, humbled and remorseful, apologized for his behavior. I'm really sorry, he pleaded. I won't bother you all again, I promise. Luli, with her usual grace and forgiveness, extended an olive branch. We accept your apology, Zanko, she said kindly. Now let's all be friends and share the park together, and so the animals did. From that day on, Zanko became one of the cats' most loyal friends, always ready to defend them from any harm. He learned the valuable lesson of respecting others and sharing, and he never forgot the humiliation he had faced at the hands of the powerful cats. As for Luli, she continued to rule the park with her wisdom and kindness, ensuring that every creature, big or small, felt safe and welcome in their shared home. The end.